And it's given birth really to many new ideas and concepts, such things as success leaves clues and stand on the shoulders of giants. You don't need to struggle and learn and figure it out all over again when somebody has already figured it out for you. Now, all of this sounds great, but does it actually work?
Hi, I'm Liam Naden, and welcome to my podcast, Let Yourself Off the Hook. As someone who has studied success for decades, I have found the formula for achieving your dreams and goals, and it's all to do with how you use your brain. Each week on my show, I will provide you with the tools, resources, and expertise to utilize your brain to its ultimate potential and remove the barriers to your success. And as you will discover, true success in every area of your life only comes when you let yourself off the hook.
I'm sure you've probably heard of the concept, the idea of modeling successful people to make something that you want much easier to get. And maybe it's something you've tried in the past, or you might even be trying it now, but it's become a very fashionable and widespread idea that if you want something, all you do is you find somebody who has what you want, who already has it. You find out what they're doing, you do exactly what they do, and you get exactly the same result. And as I said, it's become very popular as an idea, and it's become the basis for many books, seminars, and the teaching of many success gurus. And it's given birth really to many new ideas and concepts, such things as success leaves clues and stand on the shoulders of giants. You don't need to struggle and learn and figure it out all over again when somebody has already figured it out for you. Now, all of this sounds great, but does it actually work? I mean, is it true that if you figure out what someone else is doing exactly, and you do what they do exactly, will you get the same result? Well, in fact, all of the evidence actually points to the fact that this isn't a good idea at all, that it doesn't actually work. And not only it doesn't actually work, but if you try it, it could actually be destructive rather than helpful in getting what you want. And we're going to go into detail and explore all of these ideas in this podcast. Now, of course, I should say straight away, there's a difference between learning from somebody else and copying them exactly. And of course, most of what we know in our life and the things that we do and experience, they are the result of us learning from other people. Obviously, the way life works is that we copy from a very young age. We copy the behavior of others, and that's how we learn. That's how we grow. You know, think of anything, any basic thing that you know how to do, like ride a bike, brush your teeth, comb your hair. They're all things that you've learned from copying from other people. So copying other people is not only useful, it's an essential part of life. But there's a big difference between copying other people or learning from other people for small things and actually trying to create big success in your life by modeling other people, or trying really to reverse engineer or replicate all of the important traits and characteristics of another person and all their behaviors, including their mindset, their thoughts and beliefs, as well as what they say and do. And as we'll discover, when it comes to shaping your life in a larger way, this is actually a terrible idea. So why is that? Why is it that if you try and model someone else to create success in your own life, to replicate their success, and it might be only obviously in a specific area. So for instance, if you want to establish a business, a particular type of business, or even just a general business, you look who has already been successful at creating a business, and you find out what they've done to achieve their own success. And of course, when it comes to making money or seeking your fortune, there are plenty of people out there who will show you exactly how to make money or how to get rich. But there's big problems with all of this whole modeling concept. And the first one is, actually, you don't really know that what they have is what you want. Now, you might think you do. And if you've listened to previous episodes of this podcast, you'll know I've talked a lot about the whole area of goal setting and knowing what you want and realizing that most of the time It's just not a useful thing to be doing, is trying to figure out what you want, because it all comes down to the part of your brain that you're using when you're trying to do that. So most of the time, you think you know what you want for you to be happy and successful, but you don't really know. And so by just going out and trying to replicate the success of somebody else in a particular area, you don't really know if that's going to give you the fulfillment and satisfaction that you're really seeking. So the goal that you're seeking or using them to model to try and help you achieve, it might not be what's best for you. The next reason why modeling is really not a great idea is because the success that the other person that you're modeling has or says they have might not actually be what it is. In other words, they might not have actually achieved what they've said they have. And I really hate to say it, but there are a lot of people out there who are pretending to be more successful than they actually are. And they're saying to you, look at me, I'm rich and I'm happy and I'm successful. But often they're not happy. Often they've got lots of problems, lots of stress. And they may well still be left with the feelings of lack of fulfillment. And fulfillment and happiness really is the mark of true success. So you have to be really careful about the person that you're modeling. And of course, you don't know all of the details of their life. You don't know for sure that they really do have what they say they have. And therefore, you don't know whether they could really help you get what you want. But here's the biggest problem with modeling. The thing that is really fundamentally the reason why not only it doesn't work, but it's actually quite destructive. And that is, you don't really know how that person achieved that particular outcome, the one that you're looking for. And the reason you don't really know is because they don't know. Now, if you really think about your own life, you realize that most of the things you have, you don't really know how you got them. I mean, you have an idea. You think, yes, I've worked really hard and that's why I've got this business. Or I've done all these things in this relationship that's made it really good. But you don't really know for sure. And the same thing would happen if you were trying to teach someone about what you've done to achieve a certain goal. You don't really know. But what you can do, or what you will do, is you'll use your survival brain to try and figure it out. Now, your survival brain doesn't really know. But if you were to ask it, if you were to say to yourself, what are all of the things that I've said, thought, done that have created this particular result? How can I write out a list of all of the steps and all of the things that I've done to achieve that particular result, to make me wealthy, make me have a great relationship? In other words, what are all the things that have contributed or been the formula for me getting to where I am? But you don't really know. You're just having a guess that those are the things. And this is what the brain does. If you ask it a question, particularly when you're feeling in a state of lack, but in general, if you ask your brain a question, it's going to come up with an answer for you, but it's not necessarily the right answer. So here's a really simple example. Someone might say, well, the reason I was really successful, the reason I've become wealthy, the reason I have a great business is because I got in the habit of getting up at 6 o'clock every morning and spending half an hour meditating and then reading a book, a great book, a personal development book, before I got on with my day. Now, that's something I've just made up, but it's not unlike what a lot of people are saying. But how do they actually know that that has been a factor in their success? They don't really. And of course, one of the things that you can't do when you're trying to figure out what all the steps are, what all the things are that you've done to achieve success in a particular area, is how do you account for luck or coincidence or synchronicity? How can you say that something that you have done specifically has resulted in someone walking into your life unexpectedly with a business deal or an opportunity to grow that business or even start that business? You can't account for all of that. So you can't really know all of the steps if you're trying to show someone else how you achieved a certain success or even how you achieved success in an area yourself. You can't know all of the steps. And if you try to figure out what those steps are, you're probably going to miss some vital ones. And you're also going to add in some unnecessary ones. I've met quite a few people, particularly in my seminar going days, I met quite a few people who've thought or believed that the key to success is knowledge. And they've set themselves goals like reading a book a week, reading, every new book. I've met people who, every new book that came out, they'd read and study it and go, that was a great book. And they had a vast amount of knowledge. They had a lot of information rocking around in their head, but it wasn't translating into success in their life. They weren't any wealthier. They certainly weren't any happier. But it felt like they were making progress, and they'd heard somewhere, or someone had told them, I became successful because I read these books, and model me and you will achieve the same thing. That's the key to success. But it's not actually true. Now, the person who said that, who said, I read all these books and that's what, or this particular book, and that was what made me successful, they might even believe that themselves. But that's the point I was making earlier. They don't even know really what contributed to their own success. And of course, there's another big issue when it comes to modeling other people. We're told you need to model their mindset. It's not just what they do, and it's not just what they say, it's what they're thinking. If you can find out what they're thinking and you can think the same things, then you're going to get the same result. You're going to achieve the success. But have you ever really tried to think something that someone else thinks and make it a natural thought? Sometimes we call this, of course, a belief. Have you ever tried to create new beliefs? It's not that easy. It's not that simple, because there's so many factors that contribute to the mindset that we have, the thoughts that we have, the beliefs that we have, and you can't just sit down and adopt the mindset of somebody else. Now, obviously, you can work on changing your thoughts or changing your beliefs or changing your perspective, and that's all really valuable and important. But it's a bit of a challenging task, if not a futile task, to think that you really can take on the mindset of somebody else. And again, the person who tells you, well, these are all my beliefs, these are my thoughts, this is what's going on in my mind, in my head, they don't necessarily know either. They don't know if that's the full picture, the full story. It's very difficult to become aware of every single belief, pretty well impossible, in fact, to know every single belief, thought, idea that you have in your own mind. So how can you possibly translate that or give that knowledge to someone else? And how could they possibly take on that? It's impossible. And it's not only impossible, it's pointless, because as we'll see, that's not the way you're designed to work. That's not the way you will achieve what you want in your life, is by trying to copy someone else's mindset, even if you could, which you can't. So what's the conclusion here? What's the answer? If it doesn't work to model other people, then what should we do instead? Well, of course, as I said, there's no harm in learning from others. In fact, there's a lot of value in learning from other people. It's vital, it's essential. If you want to understand or achieve a certain outcome in your life, then you probably are going to need some more information. You probably are going to need to learn new skills or new ideas, new ways of looking at things, new perspectives. So you need to take on the attitude, yes, I can learn from others, but only in relation to how it's going to help me. And how you know the difference comes down to which part of your brain that you use. When you're feeling stressed, anxious, worried, concerned, and needing an outcome, needing for something to happen for you to be happy or to solve a problem, when you're feeling all those negative feelings, what's happening is you're activating your survival brain. And that's not your aware or problem-solving part of your brain. It's not designed to do that. So when you're in that state, you are automatically going to look to other people for answers to your problems, instead of looking to other people for information to help you do the right things, make the right decisions. And there's a subtle but big difference. And on a side note, one of the things we tend to do when we're in this frustrated state is we look at other people and we compare ourselves to them. And we say, oh, I wish I could be like them, or they're so lucky that they have that. I really want what they've got. My life would be great if I could have what they've got. And you also feel bad, you feel worse because you see this difference between them, how much better they are than you are. You're no good. You're not as good. You're a failure. All of these negative thoughts, and they don't help. All they do is keep you stuck. So instead, the real way to use knowledge and information from other people is to activate your creative brain. And you activate that through good feelings, through an understanding that you are unique. You are designed to be the best version of yourself, no one else. And the thing about your creative brain is it has all the answers to the things you're actually looking for. It knows everything about what you need and want to be the best version of yourself. It knows how to solve your problems. It knows how to make you a success in life, because success is your biological purpose. So your creative brain, rather than being a series of things you need to figure out in advance, your creative brain is naturally going to lead you to the right step at the right time. It's also going to lead you to the right people, to the right circumstances, to the right opportunities, and to the right information. And all you need to do is just take whatever that opportunity is, the information that's presented to you, the people, and take whatever is of benefit to you and utilize that, incorporate that into your own life, and go on your own unique path in your own unique direction to the place where you are supposed to be. Remember, the world doesn't need another clone of another successful person. It doesn't need clones of somebody else. What the world needs more of and wants is people like you, people who are expressing their own unique greatness, being the best that they can be. And ultimately, the only thing that is of value that you can learn from others are the things that are going to help you to uncover and express your own unique greatness.